Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. Is that better? Am I louder?
You sound great.
Yeah?
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I know, I'm the one who knows.
And that voice there is my co-host, Hanna.
No.
The other host.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, the other host. But I didn't introduce myself first.
That's
So does that make me the other host this time?
We're both other hosts.
I'm the other host?
You're just
Andy?
You're the other host when I call you the other host.
Okay.
I'm the host when I call me the host.
Oh, I see. So it's just a perspective thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do I just call you both the hosts?
You call us Your Majesty. And that is our feudal, I don't know, feudal editor. I'm trying to think of like pauper's not the right term that I'm looking for.
I know, I was about to say.
Serf. Our serf.
Oh, nice.
Fish.
I'm not bound to the land.
You're bound to the podcast. If this segues at all into what this is about, I'm going to be amazed.
It doesn't.
No.
You didn't.
Darn it.
I'll try to find a way to tie it in.
But our surf editor, Fish.
No, I'd really be stretching it.
I'm okay with stretching it.
Which way am I the surf editor? Like
You're bound to the podcast.
Okay, so I'm not like.
You're not like, hey, bro.
Thank God, I can't.
You're definitely not that.
Hang 10.
Yeah. Chill.
Anyway,
what are we talking about other than Fish's surfing career?
Fish Slater. Like Kelly Slater. He's the most famous surfer in them. Sorry.
Who the hell's Fish Slater?
Fish Slater.
Yeah, no, I get it now. But like I said, what are we talking about? And you're like, Fish Slater. And I'm like, I was very confused.
Sorry.
I get it now. It was a joke.
No,
Sorry. Ha ha ha. Can you edit that so it was in the right spot?
My inner response to the joke came so delayed and in the wrong spot. What are we talking about? Fish Slater. Anyway, we're going to talk about Sarah Emily Howe. This was on the list. I did not put this on the list.
Why do I know that name?
Did one of you?
It might have been
I'd assume one of us
me.
did, yeah.
Well, yeah.
We're
Someone
the three Spider-Man meme right now. Who put it on the list?
Someone didn't hack into the list.
Yeah, the list doesn't generate its own names.
It could, someday it might. Someone hacked in and started putting ideas in.
Just random stuff.
I would love that.
That'd be fantastic.
Honestly, that's an easier way to get more ideas.
Hackers out there, we're calling you to hack into the Google Drive doc somewhere that I can barely find.
Yeah.
Yes, because if there's anything we need, it's more than 6 pages of ideas that we haven't.
Are we up to 6? Really?
We're on page 6. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I love that for us.
This name really sounds familiar, so it might be someone that I most likely heard another podcast talk about. Which is funny considering the conversation we were having earlier.
Yeah. I guarantee it was not the one I listened to.
And was like, ooh, this would be a good story. So if I start to jump in and be like, I know who this is, it's because
it will start to sound familiar.
Okay.
She was born in 1826. She's born in Providence, Rhode Island. Possibly married twice at one time in her life. Not at the same time.
Okay.
No.
Just because you did say married twice at one time in her life.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, well, wait, hang on.
That's, yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I know what I said.
Yeah.
It
Fish Slater, I get it.
It wasn't correct, but it wasn't wrong. Anyway, she was married one time that was most likely annulled, and married another time that some reports say that the husband died.
You're not Googling
so
her, are you?
Widowed.
No.
That's cheating.
So she gets married a third time in 1852 to Florimond L. Howe, which is how she gets that name.
Okay.
And they moved to Boston just after the Civil War. She had a few different things on her resume, but she was notably known for, not notably, but just her career path at that point was
Dog groomer?
fortune teller.
Okay.
It's not where she found her.
Does this
her
involve rabbits?
No.
Okay. I'm go on. Now, see, I'm like, did I write this? And now I'm trying to Yeah, no, that's a different person. Go on. I'm trying to figure out who it is.
The best guess. Oh my goodness. Should know that on the article I was reading, it's reported that some of the information given about her was hard to kind of discern from certain things that were written in articles of the time she was alive, because most of the people who had information to share about her were not thrilled with this person, Sarah Emily Howe. So in 1875, she was jailed for, this is where I was like, maybe I can make a connection to what we were just talking about.
About fish surfing?
Yeah. But like it's a stretch. She was jailed for taking out loans, but used the same collateral for each loan.
Okay.
Which is not allowed.
No, that's fraud.
Yeah.
But it just made me think, like, if it was her land, I don't know. I was like, maybe this one. That's the only part.
It wasn't a very good one.
No, it's a stretch. I told you. She got the conviction overturned. So she wasn't jailed for very long. We move along to 1879. We have a little bit of history of weird loan things with her, right? Personally, on a personal level, she does not appropriately handle her loan business. So now she thinks, I can make this my business. So in 1879, she opens the Ladies' Deposit Company. Does this ring a bell to anyone?
This is really sounding familiar.
It's got to be.
This is definitely Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not mine.
This is sounding very familiar, and I retract my rabbit statement from earlier.
She did.
But I'll tell you about that one.
I would like to know about the rabbit.
Okay,
point.
remind me. I'll tell you later.
This is in the south end of Boston. Now, the company is called the Ladies' Deposit Company.
Yes.
She never solicited any clients for it, right? She didn't have anyone out there recruiting people, handing out flyers, talking about it.
No ads on YouTube or TikTok?
No, definitely not. She also never...
Emails.
She never disclosed how she, like, funded her function of this business. It was referral only, so you had to be referred by another member.
And she was granting loans?
She was now a loan grantor. It was essentially a bank, but just a loan bank. Like it wasn't like you couldn't like
get money orders and deposits.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
I think you could you get an account book, but your account was your like loan. You know what I mean? Or not your loan. Sorry. She wasn't loaning anything.
She wasn't loaning anything. Oh my God. Look, it's all about rabbits now.
She's giving people rabbits. No, I'm sorry. She was taking people's money. She wasn't loaning money.
So she wasn't loaning money. She was doing like...
People were loaning her money.
Okay.
Wait, so...
She was basically taking deposits.
She was taking deposits.
She was not a loan bank.
She was a bank. I got confused because I was talking about loans for so long. That was my bad. Forget I ever said it. Okay. I actually don't even have that written down. I truly just made that up. I was talking. Not only did I know that going into this, my notes are very clear as to what she did.
It was not what we just said it was.
Now I'm foreseeing how this went wrong.
Yeah, no, so
this makes sense.
No, it didn't. Okay. I'm sorry. She was taking people's money for high interest savings accounts.
Yes. Okay.
She was indeed a bank.
Yes.
The rabbits really threw me off. God.
No rabbits were harmed in the filming of this episode.
Yeah. She's offering 8% interest a month. Like per month, and then it would build on it for every yes.
Jeebus.
Yes. As what the description of it sounded like. Because it's 8% per the time that you're there. So it sounded like per month for every month that it was in there. Starting over each. Does that make sense? Yeah, that would be compounding.
That's compounding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, couple fun rules to it. Only single women were allowed to be members.
Which, at this time, women weren't generally allowed to have bank accounts, right?
It was tough. I think just depending on...
That's men's business.
Yeah, depending on like what was...
That was... You guys didn't hear me doing a weird little dance. That wasn't my personal statement. I just didn't want hate mail being like, that misogynistic.
So, most of the clients were not wealthy, didn't have any land ownership. So they would they saw this as a great opportunity to build a little bit of personal wealth. Deposits needed to be no less than 200 and no more than 1,000. You couldn't give
It's
more
very
than 1,000.
specific.
Yeah, very specific.
Are you converting that to see what that is nowadays?
I am.
Okay.
So Sarah really just honed in on how to make hardworking women comfortable.
Yeah.
Like this business was geared to make women feel empowered and like they were doing something for themselves. She definitely would like schmooze about the bank while she was taking on people's like getting people's accounts settled and like having people do that, not while she was loaning out money. She was not doing that.
Okay, so what year was this?
50 something?
1875. And
149 years ago.
I know, yeah. Selective. I think she was very selective.
$200 in 1875 was worth $5,678.76 today.
Wow.
That was a big deposit.
Yeah. That was,
Yeah.
definitely.
And for fun, 1,000 is worth $28,393.82.
So no more than that, please.
No more than $28,000.
Don't give me 30,000.
Like, well,
Absolutely not.
it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you've got less than 5? Get out.
Yeah. She was very good at her business, and just it made it more enticing for people to hear about like this. It was truly word of mouth. Like, oh, I'm just took this great opportunity to like this interest account is crazy. Like, can't believe it. You can't.
Do you happen to have $30,000 laying around?
Yeah.
I know what you can do with 28 of it.
So she was personable, made everyone feel like their time was valued there. So she just had very good rapport with the people she was coming in and making members of her bank, essentially her bank, yes.
Or a very private bank.
Her very private bank. Exclusive. Yes. It was very exclusive. This is at a time where women like just wanted to feel like they were in control of their money, and like it was hard for them to hand their money over. So
Yeah.
it was easy for them to hand their money over to this business.
Because it's another woman. She's very personable.
Yeah. So
I don't feel good about.
She wasn't shady at all.
No.
I feel very uncomfortable about how
This-
this is going to end.
this had some red flags immediately. Reporter from the Herald heard about this, thought it was just far too exclusive to be like
Legit?
or like specifically because how could that return on investment of 8% like come to fruition?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like where is she accruing the interest from?
Yes, and she would never disclose that.
Especially if she's not doing loans.
Yeah.
Or selling rabbits.
I mean, honestly, like if the entire thing came and became like a rabbit selling scheme,
Makes total sense.
that would make more sense to me than I'm giving you 8% interest. How are you making more money off this?
Yeah. So he attempted to get some questions answered, but was refused. And she famously just like never shared how she did business. So January 1880, he went undercover and dressed as a woman to do business in the bank. And he was let in and started.
I thought you were going to say was hot. What? I don't know why. Because you're just like, he was. And the way you're nodding, I'm like, she going to say hot?
No.
It was the subtext name.
Right?
Subtext.
Right.
No, he started an account and he like got to talk to some people. He received a bank book that on the inside like of your bank book, this is the quote, Ladies Deposit, a charitable institution for single ladies, old and young. That was it. So
That's all that it said.
yeah, and then whatever account information got stamped in there. The reporter tried to question a clerk. And she said, we never disclose the method by which we do business, which is definitely what you want to hear at your bank.
Any business, really. Like, anytime you go in and then be like, no. Don't worry about the lasagna. We're not going to tell you anything about it.
They do that to you. They
Little
like do.
finger.
Oh yeah, shh. I thought you were literally doing it to me. I'm like, there's no way I'm spoiling a lasagna twist to this.
No. But yeah, they do that. They go, no. Don't say anything. So after the first article was published, a follow-up was printed with an actual interview of Howe. She said the bank was, quote, like funded through Quaker Aid Society. You know about like Quaker money?
I mean, that's money that Quakers have?
It's like Quakers were like just an established, like...
They were an established church, and they were very big. They were very pacifists and big on charity, from what I remember.
Yeah, so like...
Oh, so like the Quakers were just giving this money to women to...
No, I think somehow she was making it sound like she was investing... They were investing together into something.
Oh, okay. Rabbits. They're putting their money in rabbits.
Yeah, so...
I mean, honestly, at this point, the Quakers...
Maybe.
Oats.
Yeah, rocking chairs. You know about Quakers and furniture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I know.
Yeah.
Quaker cabinets. I've heard them.
Windows.
Yeah.
But couldn't provide any more details on that, or she would be in trouble with her supervisors, her superiors rather, the Quakers.
You know how those Quakers are.
You know,
Like, they'll mess you up.
I just like I'm afraid of the Quakers. No.
Wait,
Nobody's afraid of the
Didn't
Quakers.
the Quakers-
They're Quakers. They're pacifists.
the Quakers save Frederick Douglass once? He was in a fight, and I compared them to the Hells Angels.
Possibly. I'd have to
Yeah.
go back and listen to the episode.
Yeah, I believe. Or maybe it wasn't Frederick Douglass. It was someone that was on, remember the trials of the two people who were...
Sacco and Vanzetti.
No. This was in, around the time that...
This is great. We have so many
slavery was
episodes
ending.
that you're like, do you remember the one we did? No.
The time slavery was ending, and it was, they were on trial for running away.
Dred Scott?
Dred Scott. Yeah, I think it was from that episode. Anyway, I compared to them.
Did we did an episode on Dred Scott?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow. We're pretty awesome.
I'm more concerned.
Did we?
I don't think so.
We might have.
I don't think we did the Dred Scott case.
Maybe, I believe I mentioned it, though,
I'm sure it came up.
in an episode, but
Okay.
I compared the Quakers to the Hells Angels of,
Interesting.
Okay, unrelatedly.
Are you Googling Hanna compares the...
No, I was Googling Frederick Douglass and Quakers. And I found one where he went to, like, as part of the Underground Railroad, he was doing tours.
Yeah.
And after attending a New England convention, Frederick Douglass and his friend visited a series of towns to give lectures. The first stop was Plymouth.
Oh, no
it.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Where they held 3 well-attended meetings.
Little bonus Plymouth tidbit for you listeners.
Tidbit, yeah.
It all comes back.
And this would have been in, like, 1849.
So, no press is bad press for Howe.
Okay.
Okay. The more that reporting is done on her bank, the more enticing it is for people from the outside, even though the reports are saying this is very suspicious bank activity.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's one of those that like, this is very suspicious that it's paying 8%. And people are like, it's paying 8%?
Yeah. So it's...
I'm sure there's nothing wrong with NFTs. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
So it serviced around 1,200 women, not just in Boston, major cities around the East, Philadelphia, Chicago, Buffalo, New York, the big ones. Howe bought a house in Franklin Square, paid for it in bundles of cash, rubber banded for $40,000. It was furnished to the nines with exotic plants, and
none of this is shady at all.
yes. So
Now, how did you buy your house? Piles of actual money.
Yeah.
You know, when you say you paid cash for a house, it's not literal anymore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame because
She had like one of those bags with dollar signs drawn on it.
So September 25th, 1880, the Boston Daily Advertiser, which was like a business kind of newspaper, released a series of articles debunking the ladies' deposits, like legitimacy, obviously, what we've kind of been leading up to. They labeled it a mysterious bank. to say the least, trying to uncover exactly what was going on there, like specifically what was going to happen to all these deposits being made.
When they decide they wanted their money.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, where is the money going?
Like, I'll write down on a piece of paper they get an 8%, but just don't ask me for that money.
I'm sorry, what withdrawals? You can't make withdrawals.
So
this is not that kind of bank.
The weird thing about that is customers were completely happy until that point. So they were trying to interview people who had accounts at the bank, and they were like, we love that place. But, like, again, how was very personable, made people feel confident,
and no one ever asked, wait, what happens when I take my money out?
No.
Yeah.
The article would get people talking, though. Like, finally, people are, like, questioning what's been happening there. Speculated that she would not... The article was speculating that she would not be able to return everyone's deposits, like we just talked about. This is when, like, investors... I say investors. These are just people that thought they were making...
Yeah.
They were investing in, like, her life, pretty much.
Her patrons. That's really what that's called.
Yeah,
exactly.
So the Ladies Deposit Company, also known as her Patreon.
Yeah, her personal Patreon, was suspected that Howe could only, like, deposit so many before suspending payments back to people, obviously.
Yeah,
because
there's no investment.
No. Are you writing me a note?
No, I'm writing something down because I have a vague idea of where this is going, and I wanted to, like, have it written down. Yeah.
Newspapers stayed on her for a while, which was, like, started the fire of legal issues for her.
Yeah.
She was liable for obviously all the money that she took from everyone. This was before, what's his name?
Ponzi?
Uh-huh. It was 50 years before.
I don't know who we're talking about.
Well, I got a vibe of where this is going. So
Yeah.
it's like, I think...
Which is funny because this whole time, I'm like, this is a Ponzi scheme. This is a Ponzi scheme.
It is a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, but this is before it happened. So this is a house scheme.
It should be a house scheme.
Yeah, exactly. Howe was arrested October 16th, 1880. No.
Someone said to Ponzi, how are you doing this? He said, exactly.
Bail was set at $20,000.
That's
a lot.
She had a lot of people's money.
Because what, 1,000
like,
was
pay us with
20,000.
Yeah.
No, 28,000. So that's like a couple of million. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
She was tried in court for 5 counts of cheating by false pretenses by 5 former clients.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
How else do you cheat besides false pretenses?
Drugs?
I would argue that's a false pretense.
I thought it was a funny...
Like, it seems like a very
just a legal term.
I know. It's like cheating by false pretenses as opposed to your standard look over there. Cheat, yeah.
Yeah. So they uncovered that there was no...
bank.
There was no bank. There was no connection to the Quakers at all. She had no Quaker money coming. April 25th, 1881, she's sentenced to 3 years. She's declared insolvent after trying to pay deposits back. She can't. She doesn't have the money.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. She bought a house.
Yeah. I'm sure she had to sell it, honestly. 1884, she was released and set up a women's bank on Concord Street, not that far away. She targeted women only.
Yeah.
A little bit more reasonable, 7% interest.
Oh.
How?
This is totally legit now.
Wait. How long? Please tell me this didn't last. Please. I need to know this did not last.
No. Well, you know what?
No, because, I mean, it
lasted
eventually.
2 years.
That's pretty. That's a long time for
Hannah.
considering.
No, I needed weeks, not.
It wasn't until a woman who lived in Maine wanted her money. Howe literally dipped off the face of the planet with $50,000 in deposits.
Jeez.
She didn't dip off the face of the planet. She went to Chicago. She started the Ladies Provident Aid. Provident Aid. Sorry, I might have spelt it wrong. Again, she likes the high interest rates for people.
Yeah. Gotta make it
7%
attractive.
interest.
Yeah, I mean, if you never plan on paying out, you can tell them whatever interest rate you want.
A little bit more of a offer on this.
Did you get a free toaster?
It was a month, 3 months of interest offered up front. Just for fun.
Just for funsies?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just to really reel them in.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
She ran. She was on the run after that. Didn't last long. That one really didn't last long.
Just a year and a half.
Yeah, just a really reasonable 5-year run. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. No, she was back in Boston by 1888. So, and she was arrested because she had outstanding warrants. If you
From,
could
the
imagine.
last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she ran off with $50,000.
There was an article written. She made it into the New York Times. This was big headlining news.
Yeah.
And it was saying how.
You're saying how?
Yeah, it was a women's bank, and had been a men's bank. It just wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have gone on for so long because men would have been smarter and not fallen for any of this stuff. And just shows how irresponsible women are with money. It fed into the idea that women
This is why we don't let them have bank accounts.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's if you let them have bank accounts, they wouldn't be stuck doing this.
So, it did say that the article failed to mention that this was a known bank, even though it only let women in. So men who wanted to invest would send a woman they knew to the bank to do the investing. So it was just women doing the actual paperwork, but not all the investments were made by women.
So it's kind of hey,
It would be like you and me sending Hanna in to make our deposits.
Yeah. So, anyway.
and then Hannah running off to Chicago with our deposit.
So, let's see where we're at. That was 1888. The similar scheme in Chicago to release mine. She's unwilling to participate in her prosecution.
You can do that? No, thank you.
I think she just abstained from actually
refused
Yeah.
to
Testify.
do anything, right? And
didn't cooperate with the lawyers.
right, exactly. She returned to fortune telling until her death.
This woman is so entirely legitimate in so very few ways.
Until her death in Boston on January 26th,
When she was trampled by rabbits.
1892.
Trying to bring it back to rabbits.
And that is the story of Sarah Howe. She was, I believe, divorced from their last husband at some point
I feel
in there.
at some point,
Yeah.
after at least the second arrest, she'd be like, you know.
It's I'm sorry, you fled to Chicago without me?
There was something that happened, and I know she ended up keeping her, whatever.
Last name?
Yeah. So, Sarah Emily Howe.
I'm
The Ladies Deposit Company.
I am caught up on two things. One, that Hannah just told a story about a woman whose time as a fortune teller was not the most fraudulent,
Very
which
true.
is impressive.
Yeah.
And secondly,
You're like, get a respectable job like fortune teller.
Yeah.
yeah. And secondly, a time when the Boston Herald was doing good reporting.
Isn't that fun?
Oh, throwing shade at the Boston Herald?
Oh yeah,
I don't really know.
Tabloid.
Did the FDIC come out of this?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I wrote, because I definitely have heard a podcast about this, which I have to be the one that put
Yeah.
on the list.
Oh yeah, this is 100% Andy.
Yeah. Because it's like, that's a crazy story.
Yeah, it is. I didn't see anything about it.
Okay, so the FDIC was created by the Banking Act of 1933.
It was probably after that, then.
Because before it, more than 1/3 of banks had failed and they would have bank runs where people would be convinced that, oh God, the bank doesn't have our money, so they would immediately run to take all their money out.
It's just like that bank that woman started, and that other bank that woman started, and that other bank that woman started.
But yeah, and honestly, a lot of banks don't have your money, because that is how banks
work. Yeah,
that's how interest works.
Right.
The banks will take your money and use it to invest in other things, and that's how you get your money back.
Mm-hmm. So,
like the Quakers.
Yeah,
just like the Quakers.
Just like the Quakers.
Yeah, had she actually invested with the Quakers, she'd have been fine.
Yeah. That Quaker money. That Quaker good. You know? So, yeah, that was her. That was Mrs. Howe.
It was coming back to me as you were going on.
But yeah, we're talking panics of like 1803, 1907.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she added to
the
it. The
Ponzi scheme before Ponzi.
Yeah. Yeah, so really the Howe scheme.
The Howe scheme.
The Ladies Deposit Company scheme.
She's like, I'm going to show you how. Scheme. Anyway.
I'll show you how to run a fake bank.
Yeah. There's a lot of things we could do with that last.
So many.
The whole episode, I'm like, how do I get this in there?
How
do I get it in there? I think this is the part where we stop talking.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.